Okay, hello everyone. So today I wanted to make a video about something that I've been seeing a lot on Facebook. And I know the title of this video is a little misleading, with it being called Bernie or Bust. Because really, this can apply to every single campaign that's going on. I want to make a comment on that. Actually, I want to say a lot of things on that. We are in an election year, but this election year is a little different from previous election years in the fact that you have two fundamental ideologies here that are coming into play. On the Democratic side, whether you are a supporter of Hillary, whether you are a supporter of Bernie, the fact of the matter is that when you boil it down, they aren't really that different. I know I'm going to catch a lot of hell for saying that, but let's face facts. They really are not that different, aside from a few key points. But as a whole, what they support is better health care, raising the minimum wage, and trying to drive a more progressive agenda. On the Republican side, or this train wreck that we can now call the Republican side, what you're seeing is the exact opposite. They're saying that the minimum wage right now might be too high, that we shouldn't allow illegals to be in our country, that we should have a huge wall and we should rebuild our military. Which, by the way, is crap, because our military, as many of the country's generals have said, is at the strongest it has ever been. The reason this year it is so important to vote is because you have these two fundamental differences. You have one that's going to drive the country forward, and one that could potentially set us back. By the way, I'm sorry, my Republican friends. If you have a sensitive stomach to the truth, you may want to turn off this video now. Because here are some facts. Donald Trump, your frontrunner, resembles a book that I can only say the world has read before. He has said illegals need to go. In fact, a lot of people have said that what his comments have amounted to is that one night they'll be here and the next day they'll be gone. He is supporting, building, and pouring $30 billion into a wall that he's somehow going to get the Mexican government to build. He has said that he is going to impose harsh things on China and force them to pay for all of these things, which you, even as President of the United States, you can't force a foreign government to do anything that they don't want to do. They are a sovereign nation, the same way that China cannot force the United States to do something it doesn't want to do. It doesn't work that way. That's, to paraphrase all of those famous commercials, that's not how this works. He has supported branding Muslims so that we know who they are, so that we can, quote, check the terrorists. This is what we're facing. When you say you're Bernie or bust, or you are only standing with Hillary, what you're in effect saying is that if the other candidate is put in the nomination, you aren't going to vote for them. And that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought because by you not using your voice and voting Democrat to push this country forward, whether you're a diehard Hillary supporter, whether you're a diehard Bernie supporter, you are in effect handing your vote over to the Republican Party. By not voting, you're voting. You're voting for Trump because it looks like he's going to be the nominee. When you say you are only standing with Hillary or you're Bernie or bust, you are saying that you will not support the other candidate, you will not vote for them, you will not do anything for them. And by doing that, by silencing your voice, you are handing this country over to a man who will knock everything back, who will knock everything back 50 years. When he says he is going to make America great again, I want to know what America he's talking about. Are we talking about the America before equal rights? Are we talking about the America in the 80s? Before all of that crap happened? Are we talking about America before civil rights in the 60s? Are we talking about America before integration in public schools, in the military before World War II? Are we talking about America before the Civil War? You know, America has gone through many different transformations. We don't need to make America great again. Is America perfect? No. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly shifting. That's what countries do. But what we can't do is allow this demagogue of a person who is grossly underqualified to assume power at the highest level. And I want people to think about this. I understand many of us have feelings one way or the other on candidates. But Bernie and Hillary are both immensely qualified for this office. They both have made a life of politics regardless of what they say. Bernie is not an outsider. He has been in office for the better part of 2 decades, as has Hillary Clinton. And they have both made amazing steps and progress in the time that they have been there. Now, have they always supported us in the things that we wanted to do? No. You know, we have all pointed out, Hillary was very against equal rights in the 80s and 90s. So was 80% of the country. But where it matters, she has supported us. Where it matters, Bernie has supported us. And I want you guys to think about that message when it comes time for the general election. Because either way, either of them would be 1,000 times better than the man that is coming forward as the Republican nominee. And by not voting, you are giving your vote to him. You may not be casting it on a paper ballot. You may not be pressing it on a button in the computers that count this vote. But it's the same thing. You're giving your vote to Donald Trump. And we all have to worry about that. We all have to be concerned about that because this election is one of those pivotal elections that's going to determine the course of the future of this country for the next 50, 60 years. It's the same way when we elected FDR. Before then, America was very isolationist. Now it's a global economy, and he helped push that through. It's the same way with John F. Kennedy. He pushed us to reach the goal for the moon. This is the same thing. This election is going to determine how America moves forward. And we each have to keep that in mind when we say we're not going to vote, or we're only going to vote if our candidate makes it. That's not how it works. Our single civic duty is to vote. That's it. So when it comes time in November, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what's going to happen to this country if one of these people wins, and how you want America to move forward on the world stage. It's your voice that matters. And when people say that one vote doesn't matter, Florida mattered. And that was only by 500 votes that Bush beat Gore. And look what kind of mess that made. 500 votes. That's it. 500 votes determined that election. So think about that. Think about what I'm saying. And think about what you're going to do when it comes time. It's all on us. So until then, love you guys. You're all beautiful. Good night. Mwah.